This video is on Farm Bill 2020. You must have seen in news that farmers in India have been protesting since three controversial bills were passed in Parliament on name of agriculture reforms. One is the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Service Bill 2020. And the second one is the Farming Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. And the third one is the Essential Commodity Amendment Bill 2020. First, let me explain what these bills are. First, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on the Price Assurance and Farm Service Bill 2020. When you look at these words empowerment, protection and agreement, it is easy to understand that this bill has something to do with protecting the farmer's interest through a legal agreement. Now the question is, protecting the farmers from what? Again, we need to look at the title of the bill. It says Price Assurance and Farm Services. That means if you are a farmer and I am a business owner and I want to buy your products, it could be dal, chawal, gehun, sabji, whatever. For that, I need to get into a legal agreement with you. And this legal agreement is for a farmer's interest, so that the farmer is not cheated. A farmer can be cheated by a company in many ways. Suppose if I tell you that I need 1 ton of rice at so and so price, and later I tell you that half of the rice is not of good quality, hence I will change the pricing down. So to prevent these kind of change of thoughts or any type of exploitation, this bill provides a dispute settlement mechanism between a farmer and a buyer by an established authority. So far everything looks good. Now I want you to pay the attention to last two words. Farming services. I mean, we understand what is price assurance. Whatever a farmer and a buyer decides over an agreement, that what should be paid to the farmer. This we know. But what is the context of word farm services? It sounds like if a buyer specifically tell a farmer that what quality or grade is required, when to deliver the products, and there could be many more such demands. Now, this is called contract farming. The agreement will outline conditions for the production of farm products and for their delivery to the buyer's premises. The farmer then agrees to supply products based on the quality standards and the delivery requirements of the purchaser and many other matters. In return, the buyer, usually a company, agrees to buy a product, often at a price that is established in advance. That means the primary purpose of this act is for contract farming, and the secondary purpose of this act is providing a nationwide legal framework where a farmer will produce crops as per contract with corporate investors for a mutually agreed remuneration. The government says that this act will transform Indian agriculture and attract private investment. If you see, it does attract private investment. Companies often agree to supply inputs to the farmer through supplying inputs, assisting with land preparations, providing production advice, and transporting produce to its premises. However, if you look at the farmer's side, their fear is that a powerful investor will legally dominate the farmers and put the liability causes at them. As you know, everything comes today with a condition applied that many of the educated people find difficult to follow up. So obviously there are chances where a private company can exploit a farmer easily with the legal clauses. This is the major problem for the farmers, and it is the genuine one. Let's go to the second bill. The Farming Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. If you look at the title, it says Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation. That means it is talking about the trading of farm goods outside the physical premises of mandi or APMC yard. Earlier, the agriculture trade could be conducted only in APMC yards like warehouses, cold storages or mandi. But this new act will give farmers the freedom to sell their goods anywhere in the country. If you all know that the subjects are divided into three lists: union list, state list and concurrent list. Agriculture comes under the state list. Many states like Haryana and Punjab could lose a big source of state revenue. You must have seen your parents on Saturday going to the mandis to buy vegetable, fruits, etc. Now these mandis are spread across the nation and farmers sell their agricultural produce in these mandis, and these mandis are controlled by state government through APMC. Now there are restrictions for farmers if they sell their agricultural produce outside the mandi, because the products that are minimum spot price needs to go compulsorily through APMC. Otherwise, if you see, small farmers can sell directly to the consumers. They are even doing it now. But if you are a large scale farmer and you want your produce to be protected by the government, then you have to notify the APMC. So anyhow, this bill will allow barrier-free trade in agricultural produce or outside the notified APMC mandis. With help of this bill, the state's government will not impose taxes on sales and purchase of farm produce outside the mandis, and give freedom to the farmers to sell their produce outside the mandis at a good price. If you see, this is beneficial for big farmers because they will have more choices and they can actually start selling the private players. On the other hand, this will hardly make difference to the small farmers. They are anyhow selling the outside the mandi. Plus, due to transportation and logistics costs, small farmers don't have any instance to go long distance or interstate to sell their products. So yes, some big farmers will get better choices. But I also want to bring in another perspective. This is the way of government to get out of the agricultural businesses. Once the farmer gets the entry into free market, they can sell to anyone and earn more. However, the farmer's income will also depend on the ups and downs of the market. In this situation, the government will not interfere by giving any type of subsidy or procurement. So there is a trade-off. You can't have everything. Plus the private players are smart. They function on low cost. They will use every strategy to buy at less price and sell at higher price to earn profit. Okay, let's go to third and last one. It is the Essential Commodity Amendment Bill 2020. Now, this is not a new bill. Central government have made amendment in the existing one. First of all, what is Essential Commodity Bill? Basically, it is a law which controls production, distribution and supply of any commodity. From the title of the bill, you can figure out that it is talking about the essential commodities. Now, what are those commodities? Now, these commodities are those things, suppose you illegally store them for creating artificial demand. You do black marketing of such essential commodities and it will affect the normal life of the people. For example, certain essential foods, medicines, fuel, petroleum products, etc. With help of this law, central government can add new commodities as when the need arises, and it can also take them off the list once the situation improves. For example, let's say that there is shortage of onion. Suppose there are some traders or wholesalers. They have kept a lot of onion in stock in order to create artificial demand. When the demand increases, obviously the price will increase. So the whole idea behind creating artificial demand is to sell a product at a higher price. Now, what the central government can do is, it can bring onions under the act, ensure that the onions are available to the people right price. Recently in March 2020, the central government bring mask and hand sanitizer under the act to make sure that these products are available to the people at the right price and in the right quality during the pandemic in India. And then from July 2020, the government again removed mask and hand sanitizer from this category. Now I hope that you understand the purpose of this bill. Now the amendment that has been suggested and then added in this bill is regarding removing certain commodities from this bill. So what the government of India did was, it removed certain commodities as essential so that it will allow the government to regulate the supply and prices only in cases of war, famine, extraordinary price rises or natural calamities. And those commodities are food items including cereals, pulses, potato, onion, edible oil seeds and oils. As you can see, these commodities are consumed on daily basis by you and me. Now that these commodities are removed from the essential goods, that means obviously their prices will go up, and the government is saying that these items will be added to the essential list only during situations like war, high price rises, natural calamities, etc. So on one hand, by removing these items from the essential commodities list, the government has taken a good step towards boosting farmers' income. But if you look at foodstuff like pulses, onion and edible oil, they are part of every household's daily uses. Now that the government is not going to regulate the supply of such food items, then there is a high chance of hoarding. That is why right now, if you go to the market, you will find that the cost of these items have increased. The new amendment also states that the government will regulate the stocks of these items based on rising prices. Now, there are a few more conditions to it. You see, pulses, oilseeds and oils, they are non-perishable items. In other words, they can be stored at room temperature for months or years as they have longer shelf life. So the government is saying that it will only interfere and bring again in essential commodities list if there is 50% increase in the price of these non-perishable items. For example, let's say that the price of your favorite dal is 100 rupees per kg. Well, now the dal is no longer in the essential commodities list. It all tomorrow the cost goes more than 50%, that is 151 rupees per kg. Only then the government will interfere and bring it back to the essential commodities list in order to control its rising prices. So the 50% is the limit set for non-perishable items. For the perishable items like potato and onion, the limit is set for 100%. The price of onion today, let's say 50 rupees per kg. If the cost goes of these items more than 100%, that is 101 rupees per kg. Only then the government will interfere and bring it back to the essential commodities list to control its rising price. So the 100% is the limit set for perishable items. So on one hand, by removing these items from the essential commodities list, the government has taken a good step towards boosting farmers' income. But on the other hand, there will be price rise and risk of hoarding, and the black marketing will increase, and that might lead to the monopoly of few people over prices of certain goods. Because let's say I am a trader or a big agricultural company or a private retailer like Reliance, Spencer or any of the food market chain that you see near your place. I can now go deep into villages to buy agricultural products directly and come back to city and earn a profit between 50% to 100%. Depending on whether it is perishable or non-perishable item. For example, in the above example, I said tomorrow if the cost of dal goes up 51 rupees per kg as per this new amendment only, then the government came to interfere to control its price. Now, as a private company, I have the liberty to set the price of dal anywhere between 50 rupees to 150 rupees per kg. Of course, I cannot blindly sell at the highest price because then I will be lose out on customers. But then I am also assuming that farmers are smart. They will also increase their price while selling it to the private players. If that is the case, still the private companies will sell at higher price to make profit. So it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it is going to pinch your and mine pocket. And we all know that agriculture as a subject comes under the state list. So the opposition parties are saying that it is a highly centralizing act. The center is interfering with the state subject. But if you see, the central government is interfering little bit, not completely, because the Essential Commodities Act gives the part to the central government. Plus, the central government is not deciding the price of any agricultural good. It is just setting a limit within which the price is to be fluctuate. So these are the 3 farm bills introduced by the central government. I hope you have gained some clarity over it. But one thing you have to prepare is that the price of food items are going to rise.